So you're thinking about moving to one of the most beautiful and historic neighborhoods in all of South Florida. Before you pack your bags, there are some things that you need to know about Coral Gables that could either seal the deal or have you change your mind. So if you want to learn more, stick around because we're jumping into it right now. Hello everyone, my name is Raymond Goyri with your Living in Miami, Florida team. I'm a local full-time realtor here in the South Florida area. And if you're planning on making the move to Miami or just curious about life here in Coral Gables, you're in the right place. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any neighborhood breakdowns or real estate updates. So if you're thinking about making the move here to South Florida or you're just curious, reach out to me. I'd love to help you out and help you make that move. All right, so let's jump in right into this video topic, which is all about what Coral Gables is like before you make that move. Now let's talk about the lifestyle and the vibe here in Coral Gables. The lifestyle here is very quiet, very refined, classy. It's a very well given nickname because the city is beautiful and they do a very good job of maintaining it beautiful by strict zoning laws and requirements when redoing a home or renovating a home. And the upkeeping of the city, not only the landscaping but of the buildings. So they make sure that the city is always living up to its nickname, the City Beautiful. So if that's something you like, then Coral Gables could definitely be an option for you. Now, what about the neighborhoods, the streets? The streets are filled with luscious old banyan trees, big old oak trees. It's filled with tree-lined streets, whether it be in the shopping district or in the neighborhoods where it's filled with single-family homes. It has that old historic charm, Mediterranean-style architecture. The owner, George Merrick, when he got inspired from Venice, and he wanted to make it in that style because if you notice in Coral Gables, you have the waterways coming in from the bay going into Coral Gables. Coral Gables has a strong sense of community in the sense where when you go out and you live there, you get to know familiar faces, whether it be the restaurant owners, the shop owners, other residents that live in Coral Gables, and maybe your kids go to the same school. So, and the people in Coral Gables like to connect and really interact with the other residents of Coral Gables, so that therefore you have a sense of community living in Coral Gables. Now it is a slower pace than Brickell and South Beach, so if you're looking for that upbeat lifestyle, Coral Gables might not be the place for you. Now you're not far from Brickell or South Beach or any other area in the city of Miami because you're literally just on the outskirts of the city of Miami, so very close by. So it is ideal for professionals because there's a nice workforce, there's a nice financial district in Coral Gables, so you may be working in Coral Gables. Also for retirees, it's a great place to live because there's a lot of things to do. Like I said, it's very community focused where you feel like you're part of a city and a neighborhood, and it's just a beautiful place to live. Also for families looking to raise a family, or you already have a family, maybe in kids in high school or getting to college, it's also a great place for families as well because there's great schools from elementary all the way to college, which we'll touch on that in a little bit. Now, how much does it cost to live in Coral Gables? Well, the cost of living is going to be higher in Coral Gables than any other place in Miami, and it's only getting higher because in the last few years Miami has been discovered and Coral Gables comes along with that, and it's been discovered. People coming down here, they're falling in love with Coral Gables. So you're coming down here, let's say, with good capital, good income, and you want a nice place to live and maybe you can afford the cost of living, Coral Gables is definitely a great choice. And there's a lot of new developments going on in Coral Gables that are tailoring and they're marketing and targeting and sort of developing for this type of clientele where they want a nice upscale place to live that matches and goes along with the city of Coral Gables. And the city also is noticing, so they are building new areas where there's, for example, there's a new area in Ponds that just finished and it's starting to bloom with some restaurants in the bottom. You got Lowe's Hotel, you got some apartments there, condos, and you got nice restaurants and cafe shops, very walkable, great place to spend a Sunday afternoon. So it is a little more expensive when it comes to that, not only in the home prices, the property taxes. Some communities are gated, not many, but you're gonna have higher HOAs, but the HOA fees cover a lot to maintain that community looking nice. And talking from experience, the gated communities in Coral Gables, basically all the properties and communities throughout many years have been very well kept, and you will rarely find one that's deteriorated. So it's well worth paying the HOA fees to live in a nice private gated community if that's your thing. The home values maintain very strong. So let's say the economy goes down, the real estate prices go down. Coral Gables might be the last neighborhood where home values start to decrease. It's just a fantastic place to live with a lot of demand always, and therefore you're always going to have good home values because it's safe, quiet, great schools, and the city really takes care of the infrastructure and the landscaping and all the buildings. It's also a great place to rent. Maybe you can't buy a property there, you want to live in Coral Gables or you want to be close to that area. There's a lot of nice properties to rent, whether it be condos or even studios, townhomes, duplexes, multifamily, and also single family homes. So it's a little higher rent, but it's not like much more for living in Coral Gables because since there's so much supply, it's very competitive, so therefore you can get a good price for rent. Also, when you're living there, take into consideration that you're in Coral Gables, so dining might be a little more expensive than most places, but definitely well worth it. Fantastic dining in Coral Gables, one of the best in the city of Miami. Also, there's the local shops, groceries. Besides your bigger grocery shops like Publix, you have more local brands like Milam's. You have Fresh Market, which is pretty popular, and then you also have a local boutique groceries that are well known in certain smaller communities like Coral Gables and maybe Pinecrest and those areas. And you have your big national chains as well. But the cost of living is going to be higher, so keep that in mind. Now, what schools are there? Well, there's plenty of schools from elementary to college, like I mentioned. You have public schools, you have charter schools to choose from, which is our mix. It's a private school and that does not cost you any money to attend because it's funded by public money and it's run privately, and you have your private schools. So for example, Coral Gables High School is a public school there located. You have a very good private high school in Gulliver Prep that it's also right here in Coral Gables, and you have the University of Miami right in the middle of Coral Gables. So if you're thinking about sending your kids to University of Miami and you want to start living here in Coral Gables, then that's a great choice. Or maybe you're moving down because your child is going to University of Miami, then definitely would start looking to buy a place in Coral Gables. Now, is Coral Gables safe? Well, definitely safe. All the things that I talked about until now just lead up to a place where people want to live and create a nice safe environment. So Coral Gables is considered a very safe place. Miami in general is throughout the years is getting safer and safer compared to a long time ago where it wasn't as safe as it is now. But Miami, in the city of Miami and the county of Miami and the suburbs and the villages are doing a very good job of maintaining the safety of our residents. So definitely thumbs up to the safety in Coral Gables. They have their own police department, which if you make a call, the police will be there. in a snap of a finger, because they have their own local police departments. It's a very clean and quiet neighborhood, like I mentioned. It's very walkable, especially if you live in the downtown part of Coral Gables, which is the Miracle Mile section, which is 1 mile of just shops, restaurants, cafes, bars. You have a theater, and then 4 or 5 blocks north and south of that, it spreads out where there's more shops. There's a museum, there's restaurants, there's a theater where they play like very specialized international movies. They have their own fire station there, so it's a nice little downtown area. There's a lot of office buildings, there's hotels, and it's very lively Monday through Friday, where you'll find people walking up and down, having lunch, and going back to work, having a coffee meeting. Monday to Friday. Weekends it still gets pretty busy, but it depends. Sometimes it's a little more laid back, because you don't have the people working there in the offices as you do Monday to Friday. Also, in the commute and the location of Coral Gables is second to none when living here in Miami. You are less than 15 minutes from Miami International Airport, so you can go and take a flight internationally, local, whether it be a business trip or maybe it's a vacation, knowing that you are close to an international airport without feeling that traffic, because you don't feel it because you're not on top of it. It's great, and a lot of clients tell me that, they give me that feedback, that they love having international airport just minutes away from such a beautiful and big city. And you're close to downtown, the Brickell area, South Beach, all the other beaches, Key Biscayne, Coconut Grove. So you're in the heart of Miami without being in the city of Miami, which is a different district. Still in the county of Miami-Dade, but you're not in the city of Miami. You also have the Metro Rail that takes you along the southern neighborhoods, whether it be the roads. It goes all the way to downtown, but then it goes to Coconut Grove, all the way to Kendall, and then it goes to downtown and it goes north, and then it makes a U and comes back west to the northern neighborhoods of Miami. So if you don't want to drive, definitely, let's say you're going to a Heat game, you can just get on the station, let's say by University of Miami, because it goes right by the University of Miami along US 1 and Ponce de Leon. You can park, hop on the train, go watch the Heat, and then come back and be in your home without getting any traffic. Very convenient. Or maybe you just want to hang out in Brickell one afternoon, and on the weekend you can do that as well. So there's many options. You don't feel like you're out in the suburbs. You feel like you're isolated when your own like community, your own neighborhood, very laid back, but you're very close to a lot of things going on in the city. So let's recap. What are the pros and cons of living here in Coral Gables? Well, the architecture is stunning. If you like that Mediterranean Spanish architecture, a lot of homes are being renovated. People are buying them. Again, it may take a little longer for permits, and they're very strict on the look. You can't get a Coral Gables home and turn it into an ultra modern home. Like let's say in Doral, there's a lot of modern homes, or anywhere else in the city. You won't be able to do that in Coral Gables because you have to keep the same architects, the look and feel of the building. But if you like that architecture, to me I think it's beautiful, very homey, and very large lots with huge yards, mostly have pools, a lot of trees, the gardens are stunning. If you like that style, and it's a very safe and peaceful neighborhood, and very walkable. On the south part of Coral Gables, which goes on the south of US 1, it extends all the way to the ocean, to the bay. A lot of beautiful homes there as well. So a lot of great options within Coral Gables, and there's a lot of great schools, including the University of Miami, that's right smack in Coral Gables. Well, what are the cons of living in Coral Gables? Well, the cost of living is a little higher than anywhere else in Miami, so it may be out of your budget, but don't worry, there are great neighborhoods surrounding Coral Gables where you can live outside of Coral Gables but still spend time in the city of Coral Gables and enjoy everything it has to offer without having the cost of living in Coral Gables. So it is little more expensive for housing and maybe to live and eat out. There's less nightlife and than any other areas like Brickell, downtown, South Beach. So if you're looking for that upbeat city where there's a lot of nightlife, Coral Gables might not be the place for you. And there's also strict zoning and aesthetic codes, like I mentioned. You can't just get a house and turn it into a very modern house. You can't have a truck in front of your yard, and that's one of the little pet peeves of Coral Gables. Where there's little zoning and rules and regulations that you have to abide by. Think of Coral Gables as a big HOA, and your property taxes are gonna be a little more because of all the things that they do to maintain Coral Gables looking beautiful and pristine. And that's the reason most people move to Coral Gables. So you understand, if you like that lifestyle, then you definitely agree with what they're doing here in the city of Coral Gables. So Coral Gables might just be Miami's best kept secret or your dream neighborhood. So if you're considering a move or just want guidance from someone who lives, breathes, and works here in South Florida and knows all about South Florida real estate, then give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Visit my website to check more information on South Florida. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.